What is up, you guys? Marty McFly coming at you, bringing you guys the heavy merch. So today I wanted to do a quick video on a vinyl I just recently picked up, and you may know some of the names in here if you've been any form of a fan of death metal, punk, hardcore, thrash. But you know, I just want to start off with the package itself because the record distro that distributed it did such a phenomenal job, and just, man, you could tell they really cared about the customer. I mean, if you were to go to Century Media Nuclear Blast, you're never going to get nice stuff like this. But it's really cool to see a record label doing these kinds of things for their customers. They even personalized a note, so just really rad, man. So let's start off with a couple of thingies. Where should we start? We should start off maybe here. So, dear Marty, thanks for the order. Your support means a lot to me and my one-person label, distro. Crank it loud. Cheers, Jed from Heavy and Fast Records. So pretty sweet little tag in there. Really nice that they personalized it. I mean, that's pretty rad, man. I love seeing stuff like that. It really does make the customer feel cool. And you know, the fact that it's a one-person label and he was able to do all this. Heavy and Fast Records record distro, so she was a hardcore punk, thrash, a lot of just super awesome, fast-paced hardcore thrash crossover. Loud, angry HM2 sounding, a lot of punk. I mean, he's got a lot of really good stuff on this record. So if you're not familiar with them, give those guys a shout. I'm sure Jed could probably use, he could probably use an extra shout out, an extra hand here, especially if he's running this whole thing by himself. So that's pretty rad, man. I'm glad he did that. You know, give these guys a shout. Heavy and Fast Records. So they got some pretty sweet little advertisements in here. New Jersey Punk Rock Flea Market. So the Punk Rock Flea Market, really cool thing that's really taken over in the last couple of years. But they have a couple in Florida. They have one in over in Sarasota. They have one over in Daytona, and then there's one over in Brandon, if I'm not mistaken. And it really is just a rad time. They usually have a bunch of cool bands. You'll get to meet people. They have a lot of food trucks, like even in here. New Jersey Punk Rock Flea Market, one day only. Hundreds of makers, small biz, artists, vintage clothing and toys, CD tapes and vinyl, OG streetwear, local food, hot deals, food trucks, tattoos and piercing, original artwork. So pretty rad, man. If you get a chance to go to one of these, I definitely recommend it. And then you have the Dark Side New Jersey Oddities Expo. So pretty cool stuff that they did in this packet. Now, anyone that knows me or is associated with me or has ever known me or been my friend knows I am a whore for stickers. And today is no different, and he loaded me up. So let's get going with the first one. So pretty rad sticker. It says no gods. That's an ad. We'll get to that one in a minute. Heavy and Fast. This is definitely going on either my Turvis, or it's going to go on my Yeti, or it's going to go on my giant Foot Locker that has a million stickers on it, or it's going to go on my record label, on my record stand that has a million stickers on it. So again, no gods. And then this is actually really cool. So this is kind of like their, kind of like a pick-me-up card. Really nice material. It doesn't make, but basically we buy metal, punk, and hardcore records, tapes, and cash CDs. So Heavy and Fast out in Collegeville, Pennsylvania. So pretty rad, man. I mean, I love the detail and the amount of work that this guy put into this thing. And then again, more Heavy and Fast, more No Gods. Love this package, man. This guy did such a phenomenal job. I can't thank you enough for thinking of me and sending all this stuff to me with the order of this record. And then again, Heavy and Fast Records. Like I said, man, anyone that's willing to go out and promote hardcore, heavy metal, thrash, punk, and keep the dream alive, man, I'll support him any day. So thank you again, man. Now, all of this to say this, I had the opportunity to meeting a couple of these guys in Melbourne, Florida, 518 Underground. So you have one of the guys in Cold Side who kind of owns that, and then you have one of the guys in this band, and then you have a couple of famous guys in this band as well, and that's kind of how I began to know them. So this is their first full-length album. They had an EP come out a couple years ago, but this is Tales from a Blistering Paradise by Heaven's Gate. So let's just get going. So you got Mike Goo on guitar. You got Paul Mazurkowitz from Cannibal Corpse, the one and only Cannibal Corpse, on drums. And then you got Big Homie up on vocals, lead singer for Municipal Waste. Pretty rad. But to have Tony on there, just screaming his heart out, man. Pretty rad what this band has achieved in such a short amount of time, and what they've done sonically. So let's get talking to the brass tacks on this one. This is the black on black vinyl. There was a couple different colored vinyls. I don't really need the colored vinyl by any means. I was happy with just black. But let's just start with the artwork. We'll get there. So Heaven's Gate, Tales from a Blistering Paradise. Now, Paul Mazurkowitz lives out in Tampa, Florida. This mural is actually in Clearwater, Florida. I used to live right down the street from here. So when this record came out, and I saw the cover, I said, "Ha! I know exactly where that is." You know, good old, Leonardo DiCaprio. Whoop. That's exactly what I did when I saw this. So I know exactly what it is. It's basically in this plaza. There's a really great taco shop, like right around behind it, and then just on the street is the Philly Spring Training Stadium. There's Best Buy. It's exactly where this is. So it's really cool to be able to see this and be like, oh my god, this is like a part of my life. And so that's just the cover itself. Of course, you got the guys on the back. You got Tony on vocals. You got Mike Goo on guitar. And then Paul on drums. And you got Jeff on bass and backing vocals. And then there is also an additional female vocal on one song on here. Now, sonically, what does this sound like? This sounds like early grindcore, the kind of the short, not as short songs as grindcore, but just kind of like the chaos of early grindcore, hardcore with a mix over of punk and thrash, fast riffs, HM2 guitars, just buzz saws for days, D beats for days, and it really is. I mean, it's heavy, it's aggressive, it's pissed off. I think Tony was having a bad day when he's coming up with this, but I would say, compared to the EP, which is 5 songs, it's like really short. I would say the songs are quite a bit longer, maybe a little bit more depth as far as what they're able to do with them, but this is not your melodic metalcore 5 or 6 minute long song prog. No. This is HM2 buzzsaw, D-beat, hardcore punk, and thrash crossover. So it's fun, man. It's not a long album. You got about 9 songs on here, I think, if I can count right. Is that 8 or is that 9? I think that's 8. But anyway, it's fun, man. Shout out to these guys over in Heaven's Gate, Tales from a Blistering Paradise. Really is. It's a great gym album, especially, man, if you're just having a bad day and you got a little bit of time to kill. Great thing to throw on. Really glad to have this on the collection. The guys over at 518 Underground had a copy of this. They sold out of it pretty fast. I kind of regret not buying it because I would like to buy it from the store, but I don't at the same time because I got a chance to support a new distro and record label. Really glad they had a copy of this. So that's Heaven's Gate, Tales from Blistering Paradise. Give these guys a shout. You already know if you like it when you play it. Notable songs, I would say, they're all have their own unique little spin, but I would say Causeway Cannibal. We do have the skyline in, basically leaving Tampa, Florida, St. Pete, and then going over to the Sarasota side. You have the Skyway, and I would say, that was the first thing that kind of came to my mind. I was like, man, I was just thinking about driving over the Skyway, which never drove on a pour. It's like, whew, it's driving up. It's a blast, though. Unfortunately, that bridge did crash a couple years ago from a barge that went through it and literally barged through it, or cruise ship, I forget which one it is. A bunch of people died, really sad. Really unfortunate, just one of those unfortunate events in Florida history that we have to think about. But then, rebuilt, and then, there has been a couple suicides on there, so that bridge has quite a bit of history, so I just thought it was interesting, the Causeway Cannibal on there. And I would say that's a good song to start off with. If you want to just look them up online and we'll see what they sound like, I think that's a good place to start. So, without me guys talking your ear off too much, that is the newest record from Heaven's Gate. It's a blast. It's sweet, short, to the point, blistering, kind of like Disma or Ueda, almost kind of heaviness and ferociousness. I would say, if you think about Ueda or Disma, I would say kind of a little bit like that, but just riffs for days, HM2, buzzsaws. It's a blast, man. So go ahead and check these guys out. Don't forget to check out the record label. Hope you guys are doing well. Peace.